This is Dr. Lou Cella, sport and performance psychologist. All right, there's three areas in which to evaluate who the best players are in the triple option offense. So when you're evaluating your players, you're evaluating who's the best center, who are the two best guards, who's the best quarterback, who's the best B-back. This is how you evaluate. Number one is urgency. How fast do they move from point A to point B? Number two is accuracy. Do they go from point A to point B, period? Or do they go to the wrong point B? Or do they misalign, which means they're not in point A? Number three, situational mindfulness. This is not as important as the first two, but when it's close, utilize this as the tiebreaker. Are they aware what's the down and distance? Are they aware of the time on the clock? Are they aware of a multitude of other variables? What's their overall awareness? But most of how you're going to evaluate who your best center is, really who your best quarterback is, who your best B-back is, who your best A's are, is number one, urgency, number two, accuracy. So, how fast do they move? And do they get from point A to point B? The players who do that are your starters. Now, often I'll get asked the question, well, what about if, you try to figure out, is your third tackle better than your second guard? Well, how do you evaluate that? Well, you take a look at his urgency and his accuracy in that particular task. And then if you believe that he's more urgent and or accurate than the second guard, then perhaps you give him a shot there. That's how you do it. You always want to play the best 11. And I know it's cliche-ic, but for most of you out there that are watching this video, it's really me just talking here, but for those of you who are listening to this, you're most likely in a situation where you have to play your 11 best players because either you don't have a lot of players or you're not really good. And my goal is to get you from nothing to something real fast after you become my client. So when you evaluate players, if you're evaluating between your 11th and 12th best player, or what you perceive to be your 12th best player, urgency and accuracy. It's those who move the quickest and those who get from point A to point B. And yes, that applies at all 11 positions. Offensive line play in this offense is about movement because you have to win east-west battles on scoop blocks. This is why if you're fat, you're disqualified. Now, I get the question often, well, how fat is too fat? If their body mass index is over a 30, they're, barring something unforeseen, they're too fat to play in this offense at the high school level. And coaches, I've worked with clients in 46 states and 2 Canadian provinces. It is by far the number one telltale of them all in a program. If I go to a camp and see kids over a 30 BMI on the O-line, I know they're going to lose. And my first goal is to give a brief analysis and then get them out of the lineup and say, go play defense. So, anyway, urgency, accuracy. Those are the two ways you determine who your best 11 are. Tiebreakers utilize situational mindfulness. Or how aware are they of the down and distance, time on the clock? But that would be the absolute tiebreaker. And I'm going to tell you something too, coaches, and I learned this in my doctorate. Urgency and accuracy leads to situational mindfulness. So if you get high levels of it, you're going to get situational mindfulness. Point is, use urgency and accuracy to evaluate who your best 11 are. If you're comparing between centers, urgency and accuracy is the determining factor. If you're trying to determine between 5th and 6th best offensive linemen, urgency and accuracy determines that. How fast do they move from point A to point B? Do they get from point A to point B? That's what matters. Coaches, if you're ready to win big in 2024, pick up the phone, give me a call. My number's on the thumbnail of this video, so is my website. The Triple Option Football Academy and Triple Option Football Academy camps are going to show you how. Go to tripleoptionfootball.com to learn more, and go to tripleoptionfootball.com/testimonials to see all the success stories that have come from the camps and the academy. I'll see you in the next video. Talk soon.